If you think Disney is just about fairy tales, you haven't met the Horned King. He isn't a human villain, he is a lich. A decaying creature of dark magic that arguably belongs in a horror movie, not a children's film. His psychological profile is unique because it lacks humanity. He has no humor, no song, and no desire for riches. His sole motive is to find the Black Cauldron and unleash the Cauldron Born. This is a deathless army raised from the remains of fallen warriors. While other villains want to rule over people, the Horned King wants to replace the living with the dead. His body count is technically incalculable, as his plan involves desecrating the resting places of thousands to build his legion. He views life itself as a mistake he intends to correct. He represents the concept of total annihilation. There is no bargaining with him. He wants to turn the entire world into a silent graveyard where he is the only ruler. The Horned King was so terrifying that he nearly got the movie pulled from theaters, proving that he is the darkest entity in the entire Disney world. Maleficent isn't just a witch, she is the archetype for every dark sorceress in fiction. She refers to herself as the mistress of all evil, and for good reason. She doesn't need to hide her nature, she revels in it. Her psychological profile is terrifying because of her volatility. Her motive for cursing a newborn, she wasn't invited to a celebration. This proportionate response shows a fragile ego backed by catastrophic power. She condemns an entire kingdom to fear for 16 years over a simple social slight. Her crimes go beyond the curse. She engages in psychological torture, capturing Prince Philip and showing him a vision of a future where he is old and gray, just to break his spirit before locking him away. But she's most famous for her final form. When her minions fail, she doesn't run. She calls upon all the powers of hell to transform into a massive fire breathing dragon. Maleficent proves that you don't need a complex plan to be terrifying. You just need the power to back up your threats. Scar isn't terrifying because he has a magic powers. He's terrifying because he is a political mastermind. He is a Shakespearean villain dropped into a children's movie, driven entirely by resentment and a lust for the throne. His psychological profile is purely Machiavellian. He displays zero empathy and treats everyone around him as a pawn. His most defining crime is the cold blooded elimination of his own brother, Mufasa. He looks him in the eye before letting him fall, creating one of the most traumatic moments in animation history. But the evil doesn't stop there. Scar immediately engages in psychological warfare against a child. He gaslights his own nephew into believing he is responsible for the tragedy, forcing him into exile so he can seize power without a fight. Under his rule, the circle of life is broken. His body count isn't just one lion, it is the entire ecosystem. He allows the land to rot and the herds to vanish, nearly destroying the pride lands through sheer tyranny. Scar teaches a dark lesson. The most dangerous enemies are often the ones within your own family. For the gods and monsters, there was the Evil Queen. She set the standard for every Disney villain that followed. She doesn't want land or money. Her motivation is purely psychological. Her profile is that of a pathological narcissist with image. She cannot tolerate the existence of anyone further than herself. This obsession drives her to order the elimination of her own stepdaughter. demanding a grand trophy heart as proof that the deed was done. Her descent into madness is absolute. She is so consumed by jealousy that she turns to dark alchemy, willingly destroying her own beauty to become a hideous witch, just to bypass security and deliver the poison herself. She doesn't use armies, she uses trust. She attacks her victim in their safest place, using a simple piece of food as a biological weapon. The evil queen proves that the scariest villains aren't the ones who want to rule the world, but the ones who want to destroy you simply because you exist. Dr. Facilier isn't a king or a conqueror. He is a charlatan with a terrifying connection to the spirit world. He is the Shadow Man, a manipulator who doesn't use swords, but deals. His psychological profile is that of a desperate gambler. He creates contracts that no one can win. His motive isn't just greed, it is survival. He is deeply in debt to his friends on the other side, ancient entities that demand a heavy price for their magic. His crimes are steeped in the occult. He engages in identity theft through transformation and attempts to eliminate the wealthiest man in New Orleans using a cursed doll. He views people merely as currency to pay off his spiritual debts. He is also one of the few Disney villains to personally extinguish a beloved hero on a screen. His callous removal of Ray the Firefly proves he has absolutely no regard for life. But his end is the true horror when his plan fails. He isn't arrested, he is dragged screaming into the shadows by his own friends. A chilling reminder: never make a deal you can't afford to pay. While most Disney villains want a crown, Judge Claude Frollo believes he holds a halo. He's arguably the most terrifying character in animation history, not because he has magic powers, but because he's realistic. Frollo's psychological profile is that of a malignant narcissist with a god complex. He genuinely believes that his horrific actions are morally right. He doesn't see himself as the villain. He sees himself as the only righteous man in a city of sinners. His list of crimes is staggering. It begins with the elimination of Quasimodo's mother and the attempted disposal of an infant, but it escalates into arson, corruption, and the systematic persecution of Paris' citizens. He burns down an entire city just to hunt down one woman. His hellfire obsession represents his darkest trait, projecting his own internal corruption onto his victims. He offers a chilling ultimatum: accept his control or face the fire. Frollo is the ultimate evil because he represents the monsters that actually exist in our real world. People with absolute power and zero empathy.